Hi everyone, thank you for joining us to another restoration workshop. My name is Leslie Moreno. I'm a New York State licensed creative arts therapist and I'm a registered art therapist in the United States. Before we start tonight, I would like for us to pray. So if you can please join me. Thank you, Father God, for this moment. Thank you for blessing us with another day. I pray that you may open our ears to hear what you have for us to hear. Open our eyes to see what tools you have given us to utilize. I pray for every individual that's watching this tonight, and I pray that this workshop may be a blessing and that we may learn something new tonight. In your name we pray, amen. Now let's continue. The name of our workshop tonight is Creative Tools, Activities to Cope with Daily Living. Now, what is creative arts therapy? You might have heard of it before, or maybe you haven't. Maybe this is your first time. Well, I'm here to let you know some details about it. Creative arts therapy is integration of psychotherapeutic techniques with the creative process to improve mental health and well-being. For example, music therapy, dance therapy, and even drama therapy. The main goal, or one of the goals, is to utilize a creative process that we all have to help people explore self-expression, and in doing so, finding ways to gain personal insight and develop new coping skills. So you don't need to be an artist in order to have fun with art therapy. Now, what is creativity? It is the ability to develop and express ourselves and ideas in new ways. It can be defined in many ways, such as how a person explores ideas or uses a different way to solve issues, and how one experiences life. So today, most likely, you have been creative. Now, who is the greatest creator? In the Bible, in Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 1, we already start knowing who is the greatest creator, God. In Genesis chapter 1, we read about the story of how God created the heavens and the earth. And he took 6 days to create everything that currently exists, from the animals to the oceans to the lakes to your favorite park. In John chapter 1, verses 3 to 5, we also read about God as a creator. Throughout the Bible, we read about many different people who use different creative outlets to express themselves and manage stressors. Today we're going to talk about 3 of them. I'm going to give you 3 examples. One of them is the Israelites. In Joshua chapter 6, we read about how the Israelites walked around the walls of Jericho, playing instruments and giving shouts and praises on the 7th day. They used their voices and they used their instruments to give shouts and praise God. That then led them to a victory. In 1 Chronicles chapter 29, verses 1 through 9, we read about David and how he willingly gave many precious stones to build the Temple of Solomon. You can read about the rubies, the gold, the silver. And in doing so, he was being creative in how to build the Temple of Solomon. Another example is David. He played the harp as a form of expression and worship to God. Saul received peace and deliverance through David's harp playing. We read about this in 2 Samuel chapter 16, verses 14 through 23. Now, in all these 3 examples, the people are expressing themselves, but others around them are also being blessed by their worship and by the creative process. Now, you may see my table full of different supplies, and I want to walk you through different tools and activities that you can engage any person in your family to have a fun time, or to solve a problem. From the youngest, whether the child be 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, or even a 1-year-old, to the eldest, whether they be in their 70s, 80s, 90s. We're going to start off with music. Now, what are some benefits of listening to music? They are, it reduces stress, it stimulates memories, it eases pain, and it improves blood flow, encourages mindfulness, and it helps reduce depression and anxiety. In the Bible, we often read about the importance of singing and praising God. If you're having a hard day, sing and worship God. He will meet you there. If you're having a phenomenal day, give praise and honor to God. He will meet you there. Now, what are some activities? No matter the age, I'm going to give you guys general activities for all ages. You can, of course, adapt them to the age range. So one of them is you can play slow music to calm your nervous system. This is personally one of my favorites. This is how I start my day and even end my day. I play some soft music, whether it be instrumental worship or just some random instrumental playlist on YouTube. And I just meditate or I pray to God and I just sit and I take deep breaths. And it helps me just quiet my mind from whether I had a rough night the night before or just to prepare myself for the day ahead. At night, it's great because it's a nice way to just unwind from the busyness of the day. Another fun activity is to just play music and just dance. Just have fun dancing. You can use music as a form of self-expression. You can dedicate a love song to your loved ones. You can play a worship song. You can sing a song of lament, right? During these difficult times, we're all experiencing different levels of sadness. And oftentimes, singing can help us express and release the lament that we're experiencing. Lastly, you can play an instrument. If you have a child, you can teach them how to play an instrument. If you have an elderly who may be experiencing some sort of disability, you can adapt it so that they may also take part of the play of instrument. Now I'm gonna show you guys an activity. I just realized I didn't name it. So this activity is pretty much just called draw to the music. So I'm gonna play a song and I'm just gonna draw to the music. The purpose of this activity is to not focus on the outcome, but just focus on the here and now. Focus on what comes up for me when I hear the notes, the lyrics, or just the rhythm of the music. You may join me if you'd like. All you need is a piece of paper and a pencil, or even a crayon.
New memories. They're giving us new memories. To all the places shame wrote our story. You're giving us your memory. It's not just perspective. It's innocence restored. You're giving us your memories. You're giving us a new memory. Oh, you're rewriting our story. Our story with your love.
And that is all. So as you saw, we just played the music and I just drew to the music. I'll describe my drawing. So the rhythm and the beat of the song just gave me this very relaxing sense, and it just reminded me of these swirls. I thought of people dancing ballet. When the song mentioned memories, I thought of a memory book. And one of the phrases we heard was perspective, so I wrote the word perspective. And something that this song brings up for me is growth, and in my mind, leaves and flowers, they always remind me of growth. So this is pretty much what I made. If your drawing is not as, I guess, detailed as this, it's totally fine. As long as you had some time to just sit down and had a mindful moment, that was the goal of the song. Now, moving forward, we're going to talk about coloring benefits, which we already somewhat started. So coloring or drawing, it relaxes the brain. It's a form of self-expression. It encourages creativity and mindfulness, and it provides a subtle sense of control. These are really important because in the times of so much uncertainty like the ones we've been living, having 5 minutes where you can control something can bring so much relief. Having a moment of mindfulness in the midst of so much going on, it not only helps us individually, but it helps those around us. We'll be able to present ourselves to them in a more grounded mindset. And it relaxes our brain. You know, our brains are experiencing a lot. Our brains are processing everything, and it's important to take care of it. Just give it breaks. Some activities you guys can engage in as a family or even individually is coloring books, whether it be a children's coloring books with different characters, Mickey Mouse, Toy Story, Lilo and Stitch, or an adult coloring book, which I'm sure you've seen in your local pharmacy or even on Amazon. You can create a color wheel to help teach and identify different feelings. And you could color your safe space. These are just a few, but there's tons of different ideas and activities you can engage in. Today I'm going to show you how you can create a color wheel to not only identify your own emotions, whatever you're experiencing during the day, but how you can use this to teach your child about their emotions, of what they're feeling. This is personally one of my favorite tools because it makes an abstract topic such as emotions as something concrete and fun for kids. So we grab a piece of paper and we're gonna grab some crayons. All right, so the movie that just came to mind is, what's the name of that movie? The Disney movie that talks about emotions. The name slipped in my mind right now. Inside Out, I believe. So Inside Out, if you haven't seen it, I strongly recommend it. It's a great movie that makes, once again, an abstract topic such as emotions and mental health into something entertaining and concrete to understand. So to make the wheel, you can grab some crayons or even some markers. We'll use this one to start making the circle. I strongly recommend Mr. Sketch markers. If you have kids or even as an adult, they're fun. They have different tips. So you can make wide sketches, you can make thin sketches, and they smell really fun. Oh, and then we're gonna divide it. Now, all we need to do is identify the emotion. So thinking of the movie Inside Out, they use green for disgust. They use yellow for joy, blue for sadness, and red for anger. Now, the way this works is if you're doing it for yourself, you can create a color wheel, and so you sit and just have a moment for yourself and just reflect on your day. What different emotions did you experience? You can even make it into a pie chart of what emotion you chose the most. You felt the most throughout your day. Now, if we use this as a teaching activity, the way I would use it is if I had the child next to me, I would ask them, right, how did you feel today? Can you please point to the emotion? Now, whether they felt angry, they would point to angry, sad, right? And then I would ask follow-up questions. What made you feel sad today? What made you feel joyous today? What made you feel angry today? And what made you feel disgusted today? Right? To further the conversation, if I want to teach them a coping strategy, or if I want to find ways to problem solve, I'll ask them, well, what do you think we can do to feel less sad right now? Or what do you think can help you feel better tonight? If they're sad and they can think something on their own, that's great. If you notice that they can't think of something on their own, then maybe you can give them some tips, whether it be talking to someone, hugging their favorite stuffed animal, playing with a pet, talking to a sibling, having a favorite snack, maybe taking a nice cold or hot shower, right? So in this activity, I love it because not only do we make abstract content concrete, but it leads to a conversation where we can talk about emotions and we can teach our kids and even our adolescents about coping strategies, how to cope with life, how to cope through the day-to-day. When I was working at a school, this was one of my favorite tools because this taught the children how to express themselves. Instead of them having an outburst because they were mad, which they did, and that's okay, with time they were able to learn that they could just point, Miss Leslie, I am, sometimes they would verbalize it, other times they didn't and they would just point at it, but that would be just great. So this is a fun tool you can use not only for your child but for your adolescent or even for adults. Sometimes as adults it's hard to name our feelings. Sometimes I don't even know what I'm feeling and I have to look at a feelings wheel. You can even look up a feelings wheel online where it just shows an array of different emotions we experience, and you can print it out and just have it on your wall where you can just look back at it and it'll help you identify your feelings. When we're able to identify our feelings, it helps us gain control of the situation and find different ways to cope with whatever may be going on. Now, for next activity, we have Play-Doh. Before I move to Play-Doh, I want to show you guys some of the supplies I have here. So these are crayons. Crayons, color pencils, regular pencil. These are watercolors, but we'll speak about that later. These are markers. These are, I guess, a little bit more advanced markers if you don't want to use the Whisker Sketch or the regular Crayola markers. You can find these at your local art supply store or your local discount store. Of course, you won't find branded stuff, but if it's good quality, why not? Again, to use these different activities, you do not need to spend a lot of money. Art supplies can be expensive. You can go to your 99-cent store and just buy a box of crayons and you're good to go. And some paper. You can use small size paper. You can use regular 8-11. Any size of paper, as long as you have fun. These are some colorful blessings cards. They have nice saying and Bible verses. You could probably find them on Amazon, or you can even use a coloring book, like I said before, where you can find on Amazon. They have all sorts of different styles, but the main goal is to just have some time for yourself and just have fun, have some moments of silence, or play some music and just take some time out for yourself. Our next activity is with Play-Doh. or clay. So a few of its benefits is that it's fun, it develops fine motor skills, it improves social skills, it has calming qualities, it encourages creativity, it improves cognitive abilities, and it's a non-threatening way to externalize difficult emotions. So I have some Play-Doh here. Now, if you don't want to use Play-Doh, you can go ahead to the art store and ask customer service, and they'll show you the array of different clays they have, from molding clay to Adobe, different fun stuff. And you can even buy different fun tools. If you're an adult that likes to have fun carving stuff, sculpting stuff, this might be your go-to activity. So some activities you can engage in, and not mattering your age. You can create different kinds of foods, shapes, sculptures, or even places. You can use it as a sensory ball, right? Whether it be you're working from home and you're stressed out and there's too much going on, just grab some Play-Doh and just make a ball. Sometimes even just playing with it in your hand is really helpful, because this is actually helping you release tension you may be internalizing. Play-Doh is also a fun tool to use with kids, where you can engage them in imaginative play, which is something so great that kids can do, and even we can as adults, but we often use it less as we get older. So I encourage you tonight to grab some Play-Doh, maybe after this, and just do something with it. Create something, be imaginative. Oftentimes we get overwhelmed, or we just get stressed with daily living stuff, bills, cooking, looking after one another, that we forget to be like a child and be imaginative. So setting some time apart to just play is crucial for our mental wellness. So we're going to create today. We're going to create a bowl. Right? If you have your child with you, or even your teenager, you can start making different shapes, and you can even make a story out of it. If this is my bowl, and I have someone here next to me, I would probably play restaurant. We're going to make different kinds of foods. Pizza, a burger. That was honestly my favorite game as a child when it came to Play-Doh, just making different foods. Now, if you want to get really crafty and you want to make something, more advanced, you could definitely use different clay and different tools, which you can find at your local art shop. Right? This is great because we're using our fine motor skills, which kids are developing, and as adults, or if you have someone, an elderly, whether it be a grandma, your grandpa, they can definitely benefit from the fine motor movement. And here's my bowl. If I can imagine anything, I would imagine it would have some ramen with some soup. All right. My little bowl. And there you go. Now our next tool is paint. Now here's some painting supplies. These are some painting brands. I have like the glittery paint. Who doesn't love glitter? I love glitter. Ink. You can draw or paint with ink. Regular acrylic paint. Watercolors over here. You can even paint with coffee. I recently found that out, and it was actually pretty fun. You can make some coffee and just grab a brush and just paint with it. I have some paint brushes. Something fun to do is also just grab random objects you have around your house that you don't need anymore. Or even if you're out on a walk, grab a flower or grab a leaf and use it as your paintbrush. So that's actually a really fun activity because you can use it as a stamp where you'll be stamping the flower or the leaf. Some of its benefits, it promotes stress relief. It's fun. Who doesn't like to have fun? I love having fun. It encourages creativity. It cultivates emotional growth. It enhances problem-solving skills, and it encourages socialization. Some activities are you can paint an emotion. So going back to the emotion wheel. You can utilize different objects as brushes that I had mentioned and just have fun with it. You can paint your favorite quote. You can paint your favorite place. You can use different shapes and sizes and colors to create abstract painting. Here are some examples of a little box I painted. I believe this was purchased online. So we just grabbed the box and I just painted it. You can buy ornaments, right? Your local discount shop or your Michael's. And you could paint something either for yourself or for someone else, right? This also promotes socialization. So this painting, something like this, is actually a really nice gift. You can create whatever you like to create, and give it to someone, something thoughtful, and it's something loving, something small. So those are some things you can paint, or you can paint on a regular piece of paper. Today we are going to paint. We're going to paint an emotion. So we're going to grab the paint. We're going to mix the colors. I'm trying to make the color pink, but it's clearly not coming out. I don't have my white with me, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. So the emotion I'm going to paint is loved. Love. So again, you don't need to be Picasso to engage in this. So oftentimes we think, I need to have painting skills, or I need to know how to do all these different sketches and brush strokes. You don't. I mean, you can. It's definitely a good time to have. I mean, it's fun. It's something new. You could discover a new ability you may have, but you do not need to be a painter to engage in this activity. This activity is great because, again, it engages us in conversations about emotions. Whether you want to do this on your own, as your own self-reflective time, or if you want to have a conversation with your family about how everyone has been doing, how their day has been, you can engage your family in this. And it can become, like I said before, a fun activity. Right? And it opens a conversation of what is making people feel the emotion they're experiencing. What can we do to help one another? Right? We were created to live in community and to help one another. So this opens the conversations for that. And people that are often struggling with their mental health, or are dealing with, whether it be with anxiety, depression, whatever it may be, social support is crucial to help the person. And oftentimes they may not know how to ask for it, or they may not know how to speak about it. So opening a conversation using painting or drawing or even Play-Doh is a non-threatening manner to do that, because it makes difficult things fun and just easier to talk about and handle. If you have someone that has experienced trauma, art therapy is great because it's, like I said before, it's a non-threatening way. It's a fun, less scary way to cope and talk about trauma. And this also engages, what I love about art is that it engages both sides of our brain. So it's not only our left side talking about circumstances, right, putting words together, but it engages the right side of the brain where it's our emotions and memory. So both sides of the brain are imperative to engage in so that healing and restoration can occur in our lives. If we think of anxiety, right, we not only have the racing thoughts and the questioning, the what ifs, the thinking of the worst outcomes, or however you may experience anxiety, right? So not only engages the left side of the brain, the cognitive abilities, but it also engages the body, whether it be the clammy hands, the sweating sensation, or your body shaking, or or you feel like your voice is trembling, or you feel like your heart is racing and it feels like it's going to stop, or your chest hurts, right? We see that it's not only our mind struggling, but it also gives our body signals. So art therapy helps in having both of them work together, right? Sometimes even just doing strokes can be really soothing. I know in moments where I felt anxious, sometimes just scribbling out my anxiety is really helpful. Sometimes just doing soft or even aggressive strokes, whatever it is that we need, it helps release the tension that we keep in our bodies. So this is my heart. It's supposed to represent loved. This is my heart. If I use it for a moment of self-reflection, I can sit with it and I can reflect on what were the moments that made me feel loved throughout the day. What were the things people did or said or gave me. I would also ask myself, what can I do to help someone else feel loved? What do I need to change from myself to help someone I may have in mind feel loved? And I would even contemplate on the love that God has for us. And, if we just sit with that, with the immense love that God has for us, I know it's impactful in so many different levels. So this is the activity. You can do it in a group form. You can do it individually. Again, you can do this with any age range, from your smallest toddler or even a baby. You can do fingerprinting if you're okay with your child getting messy. Do some fingerprinting. It has a lot of different benefits. To your eldest in your family, if they need help grabbing a tool, you can help them, and it's a nice moment to bond. So that's our activity for painting. Moving on, our last tool is photography. Now, I didn't bring a camera, but I know we all have our phones, right? Most of us, if not all of us, have a smartphone by now. So we all have a camera handy. So some benefits of photography are it's fun. It's a long-lasting way to document life's moments, whether it be your favorite meal of the day or whether it be connecting with someone else, socializing, whether it be through Zoom. I have so many Zoom photos on my phone now from the past year, right? The Zoom group photo. It encourages creativity. It helps you find beauty in your surroundings. It provides a subtle sense of control, and it challenges our viewpoint. These benefits, as they may sound simple, they are, but they have great depth. I'm going to give you an example, right? Taking pictures with your loved ones, it has such sentimental value, right? When we lose them, we can cherish those photos. We don't want to lose loved ones, but unfortunately, many of us have lost loved ones. And it's nice to have a photo of our loved ones. Or let's think of a fun day you had, right? You could take a photo and you could print it, frame it as a nice keepsake. It encourages creativity. In a world where we're often busy and just rushing or just focusing on all the to-do lists, it's important to set some time apart for us to be creative, to have fun, to just forget about adult things and just have fun and have fun like a child. And photography can help us do so. It helps us find beauty in our surroundings. We've been indoors for way too long, and let's be real, we got tired of our surroundings. I got so tired of being indoors for so long that I think I counted the thumbtack holes I made that were already in my wall, that I was like, wow, I'm really bored. So photography, it helped me focus on my surroundings and find beauty in it, right? When it was difficult to go outside, photography helped me look at my plants in a different light. It helped me look at my cat, which I'll be showing you a photo of my cat, and just have fun photographing him. So it helps us, right, focus on the beauty in our surroundings. When we're having a hard time, that can be really challenging. But photography, it's an easy, subtle way to do that. It provides a subtle sense of control. And things feel like they're all going wrong, or when we feel like we can't control things, which, let's be real, we like controlling things. Photography, taking that 1 or 2 pictures, it helps us do that. It gives us a sense of control, whether it be of this bowl, right? I might not be able to verbalize it, but I know subconsciously that has an effect on my mental wellness. And it challenges our viewpoint, right? The way I see the bowl from this perspective, if I take a photograph from the bottom up, it'll challenge my perspective and it'll let me see different things of it. Photography is personally one of my favorite tools to just cope with daily living. Some activities are, you can photograph, like I said, your favorite things, favorite people, favorite places. If you've gone on your walks, take a photo of the beautiful flower tree, or take a photo of the neighbor's dog, or ask a neighbor, can I take a portrait of you? So 1, you're being creative, and 2, it's helping you socialize with someone else. You can create a photo book about your favorite memories. You can photograph your surroundings. You can make a photo wall of your favorite pictures, and the list goes on and on. I'm gonna show you 2 of photographs I took during quarantine. Like many of us had. We had moments where we had to just stay indoors for too long. So photography, painting, coloring have been really, really crucial to my mental health during this difficult time, because it gave me a fun moment, in the moment where I was worried about my health, where I was worried about my family's, friends' health. Coloring gave me some ease of mind. I was able to make a gift, someone that was feeling down. I was able to make them a gift. Photography, like I said before, it helped me find beauty in my surroundings. I was bored with my four walls, but it helped me see different objects in different lights. So we'll be displaying photos of my cat, my baby Mozart. He was my subject for many, many days. And when I got bored of photographing objects, I would photograph him, whether he be jumping or giving me his paw or just sleeping. He would be my model, and I had so much fun photographing him. And it would lead to a moment of play where we would just play together, and it would, like I said before, it would just give me an escape or just help me relax from all the worry, all the concerns. The second picture is a picture of snow. I took that picture from the third floor I was living at before. I literally just grabbed my phone and just took a picture of the ground from the window. It's so handy to have a camera in your phone. So there's no excuse. You do not need to have skills or know a lot about photography. It's just about having fun. I personally like playing with the angles, so I would stick out my phone through my window and I would just play with the different angles. I have so many pictures of sunsets and the sky. I love the sky, so I would take pictures of the sky. And I look forward to making a collage of those days. Those are just ways photography helped me. When I couldn't leave my house and I was bored, I was upset that I couldn't go out for safety reasons, photography helped me to just have fun and just relax and have a sense of control. When I didn't know what was going on with my body, because it was really scary, I knew I had some control over what photos I took or how I took them. And now that I look back, that was huge, huge help for me. I want to leave you with this quote. Art washes away from the soul the dust of everyday life. Van Gogh. Following this, you'll see some resources of art therapy articles or even art therapy groups or support groups. If you're in need of support or you're interested in art therapy group, I encourage you to look up the website. It's definitely been a challenging time, and we all deserve support. And there's definitely resources out there. Thank you for joining us tonight. My contact info will also be displayed. If you have any questions, and you want to know more about art therapy or just how to have fun with the tools in your home, you can definitely contact me, and it'd be great to connect with you. Thank you for joining us, and I hope you learned something new today.